Hello and welcome to Module 2, Roadmap to Success. So this week we've got some really cool stuff that's happening. We really want you to dig in and take a moment to spend some time with your organizations and figure out your roadmap to success. The more you plan now, the easier that this is going to be throughout this entire semester. So let's dive in. So on this first part, as we scroll up, you will see this, our video will land right here. And really to kind of just give you a quick overview before we dive into this, you have three main things that you're doing this week. One, you've got a time card. Two, you're going to be working on your roadmap to success. And then three, you have a peer discussion in Yellow Dig. So let's dive in a little bit further because I want you to notice here are your readings and viewings. Very important because in the template, in the roadmap to success, there is a spot for you to reflect on what you've read and what you've learned. So there are three kind of important articles that you want to take a look at. First is from the Center for Community Health and Development, really focusing on developing your action plan. So chapter 8, section 5, take a look at that one, as well as same reading source, but this one is identifying action steps in bringing about community and system change, which is what we're really trying to do. Again, chapter 8, but this time you're reading section 7. And then going back to one of my favorite books, which is IDEO's book, it's online. There is kind of a template that was similar to ours, but kind of that same thought. So if you want more information about the toolkit and how we develop the roadmap to success documents, you can take a look at this one. So make sure you look at this before you jump back into the full unit for this time. So let me scroll down. It's definitely objective. If you look through this on the second page, we added in the step-by-step that Amy Marcos did last week. If you looked at that one, same general piece. It's about 13 minutes, walks you through this a little bit more in detail. So if you need more step-by-step instructions, please jump here as well. Also, if you'd like to talk with us on Tuesdays, Arizona time, 6 to 7 p.m. We have office hours. The two of us are sitting, hanging out on Zoom. If you want to join us, we're here to tell you more. So let's jump in a little bit more. Here we go. So next up, we have your roadmap to success. So this is your assignment. So it gives you all the wonderful details. We'll let you look at that a little bit deeper, and then we'll come back to the rubric after Patrick talks a little bit about the template itself. So I have the template open here. So Patrick, you want to share a little bit about our template and what they're going to be doing for this roadmap?
Sure thing, Dr. J. All right, everybody. So one of the things that we are asking that you do, go deep into the reading, look at that reading very closely, and then come away from that saying, all right, what did I learn? So beyond just listing one of the readings, just listing it, in APA format, what we want you to do is kind of explain the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Like, how did this affect you? What has this done for you? How have you grown as a learner? How have you grown as somebody who's entering into the implementation phase of this whole process? What does this do for you? Our readings are very practical. They're not chapters and chapters of textbooks. They are all very action research oriented. They're all very practical for what you are doing, and they're applicable and timely for what you're doing. Then below that, what we want you to do is think about your team members and touch base with them. Don't just tell us what their names are. Like, they're just names on a page to us. What we need is for you to go deeper. We need you to tell us, who are they? What purpose do they serve? What is their role? How are they going to benefit your plan in some way? And how do you see them as an integral part of this machine that you're trying to drive forward? Then beyond that, you're going to need to create a 3-month calendar. So 90 days, really thinking about, okay, what does this look like 90 days from now? What would it look like even further than that? But particularly detailed out, what does the next 90 days look like? So you are going to have to click on that link that says, here it is, and that'll open up a calendar for you. And I want you to think of this, if you think of this as kind of like project management terms, this is really like a program of work. And you're basically going to list out all of the key milestones that your project is going to achieve. And when you do that, think about not just, okay, well, I'm going to call this person. Think about how you are going to get a measurable piece of data from that particular instance of something happening? And then how does that then stair step into the next thing? So this really is yes, it is a to-do list, but it's more of a purposeful objective. If you think about it in terms of going back to your early education courses, why do we write objectives? Well, we write objectives because we want students to be able to see their learning outcomes. The only way that they're going to know that they've achieved mastery is if there's some sort of evidence. So we want you to write these in a way that gives some sort of evidence, okay? All right, Dr. J, let's head back to the roadmap for success. So that calendar is very important. This is going to take, I think this is going to take the bulk of your time, really. We want you to be very purposeful about this calendar. So then below that, we want you to share a link to that calendar in that space. Make sure that you test that link using an incognito window first. Do not submit this without testing it or without sending it to someone else outside of the ASU organization to test that. Then you're going to have a team meeting, okay? And so we want you to kind of like Avengers assemble your team here and go over really what each person's role is going to be, what purpose they're going to serve, how you see them fitting in here. Of course, you want to give them agency and onus of their part of this. So, obviously take detailed notes. Really, meeting minutes is what you want to get. So list when and where you're going to host the meeting, then list the important points of the meeting afterwards. Please feel free to have this meeting virtually or in person. It is completely up to you. If you choose to do it virtually, make sure that you hit record. We want to see evidence of it. If you choose to do it in person, that is fine, but just know that we expect to see some sort of transcription of what you have talked about, and not just like, we met, we talked about the plan, it was a good meeting. We expect to see detailed notes from this meeting. Then finally, at the end of that, really kind of just summarize what was really the outcome of the meeting. Did it seem like you had a good idea of where to go, or did you seem like there was still some ambiguity? Was there intent? Was there purpose? Did you come up with collaborative goals, or was it still kind of nebulous? So other than that, please make sure to reach out to us with questions. Make sure you email us. Make sure you use Slack. Use Slack, use Slack, use Slack, and engage in those Yellow Dig conversations, which is what Dr. J is going to talk to you about. Well, not next, but in just a second.
So just to kind of round this off, I want to make sure that you see how your points are going to be kind of assessed and how we're going to grade this. And it is due, again, that Sunday after, so it's due Sunday. Class this week will open on Monday, so keep that in mind. The other thing is, this is a 40-point assignment. We're looking at your pre-work. You're going to get points for that. We're looking at your project plan team members. So we're really going through step by step and looking to see, did you add in all of that detail? But again, don't just do this for us. Do this for your project. The more you put into it, the easier your project's going to become. And this first part is setting that stage and getting your roadmap. It's like almost when you jump in the car and you're like, I don't know where I'm going. You wander around a lot. If you actually set this plan, you know what you're doing, it's going to be much easier. So keep that in mind. So now,
one of the points I just want to reattack on this one. Every time I've ever stepped into a classroom without a plan, it has led to all kinds of behavior problems. It has led to students being unclear of what they're doing. It has led to me being unclear of what I'm doing. It is just an invitation for chaos. Every time I've walked into a classroom with a clear plan, with measurable objectives, that I could show students evidence that they've achieved mastery, every single time it has been successful.
Yep.
Sure, there's little one-off behaviors, but they're quickly nipped in the bud because we are planned.
Yes.
The more you plan, the better you're going to be later on down the line.
So take that advice, guys. That's the best way to do it. I mean, we could tell you stories, more stories, but hey, do it. Take the time. All right, next up, Yellow Dig. So again, you guys are familiar with Yellow Dig. You are going to spend time with this throughout. I mean, really from this week moving forward, you're going to spend some time in Yellow Dig. Again, think about, what's happening in your organization, what's happening, what problems are you seeing? Discuss things, talk about it, take advantage of this. You guys are scattered all around the country. You can also pick up the phone and talk to people, but this is so much easier. So have those conversations. You get 15 points per week to do this. So please make sure that you're doing, all you do is click the button, it takes you right in. All right, last thing. you have your timesheet. So again, like Patrick mentioned last week, we want to know what you're up to. Yeah, it's one point, but this is how we get to know what's happening and what you're doing with in your internship. If there's problems we need to know, let us, put it there. Also send us an email. So this rounds off our week.
Journal. Remember to look at that as a journal. That's really for you to be able to go back and say, what did I do? What did I work on that week? And it helps us to get a clear picture of how we can better help you. That journal helps us help you. Help us help you.
Yes, help us to help you. And that's our daily, weekly gist for Module 2. And our motto for this week is, Patrick?
What's that?
Our motto, help us help you.
Help you. That's our motto. Thanks, and go Devils.
We're here to support you. Let us know what we can do to help. We'll see you guys in Module 3. And also Tuesdays, 6 to 7, AZ time. Woohoo! Right now we're Pacific. Who knows what will be next time. So check what AZ time is. Have a great week, guys. See ya.